Style. It is a privilege to be here today, and I want to say thank you for your leadership. This has been a phenomenal experience working with you. This is not our first roundtable experience with you in your mission to defend Wisconsinites and protect us, so thank you for your hard work. I also want to thank the leadership in this room as well. Everyone at this table has something here to offer today and offer their different perspectives as we can imagine. And also the law enforcement that is in this room today. Aside from this conversation about fentanyl and opioids in our community, in our state, and around our country, I just want to say thank you to law enforcement officers. The challenging work that each and every one of you face every day is beyond belief, and I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone at the Racine Sheriff's Office. You're doing a phenomenal job. I also want to begin a little bit with my perspective, a little bit of a briefing, if you will. 27 years ago, I put this uniform on, and I was assigned to the Racine County Metro Drug Unit as undercover drug agent. For the first time in my life, I was 23 years old, I was brand new to this community. I was tasked with going out and buying drugs. The first night I went out, the very first night I went out, ladies and gentlemen, I bought powdered cocaine and a variety of other drugs. To say the least, I was shocked, I was nervous, and naturally very scared. But that year went on, and I got further involved and entrenched in this drug culture, and I was literally socializing and hanging out with addicts and drug dealers alike. One thing I've noticed with the addicts is that they didn't work. The vast majority of them did not work. They supported their habit by stealing. They were stealing from our homes when we were busy at work, stealing from our cars when we left them unlocked, or they're engaging in retail theft. Just any way to steal things, sell it for pennies on the dollar to support their number one cause in life, and that was their habit, this addiction that they had. And then we had the drug dealers. Which is an interesting breed. And I can tell you, going face to face with drug dealers, buying their drugs, they did not care whether I lived or died, or you live or die. They don't see a human being with a heartbeat, but they see as a dollar sign. And it's really, really disheartening when we look back at that. So we look at this conversation and fast forward to today, we're talking about a lot of different things. And these conversations have been going on for decades in my field. But today is very, very important. And look at the opioid epidemic, and this county has taken sort of, at least the Sheriff's Office is taking a four-pronged approach to it. And I'll talk a little bit about those. The number one approach we've taken is life-saving. Naturally, first and foremost, is saving lives, is it not? And so back in 2014, the state of Wisconsin, up until 2014 rather, the only way you could administer Narcan was through a certified medical professional, oftentimes in the back of an ambulance, and oftentimes it was just too late. We lobbied hard in Madison to have that law changed, to be able to put Narcan in the first responders' hands, men and women who put a badge on every day, including our county jail. And right away, we started saving lives. We implemented that right away, and I'm proud to say Racine County was the first law enforcement agency in the state of Wisconsin to put Narcan in all of our squads, including our jail. But going on, we ended up saving, I should say, we have 68 deployments to date of Narcan throughout the county as first responders. And I'm proud to say many of those 68 are alive today. So that is something we should all be proud of. The second prong approach is education. I know the county executive and I and the district attorney who's appearing virtually today have been part of a number of discussions about opioid summits in our county. What does that summit mean? We bring together community stakeholders, and everyone offered their perspective and offered the community a chance to be able to understand what opioids are, what fentanyl is, and how dangerous it is. And our target zone was the middle schoolers and high schoolers along with their parents. And I'm proud to say we would fill high school auditoriums. There was a thirst in our community to learn more about this dangerous poison and what we were going to do about it as law enforcement and as a community. The third piece is enforcement. Naturally, that is what we do in law enforcement, is enforce. Sergeant Gobish is here, he heads up my Metro Drug Unit, and if he was to tell you today, and I would agree with him, that we will not be able to arrest our way out of this problem. And that is one of the reasons why we're here today, and I commend the Congressman for bringing this forward to talk about solutions and how can we solve these issues and make Wisconsinites safer. And fourth, and a final comment before I pass to Juan, is talking about the prosecution. There's a drug court, and I'll leave our district attorney to talk more in depth about this. This is her area of expertise. Racine County does have a drug court, and we should all be very proud of that. I have no interest as the sheriff. I run the county jail here. We have an 876-bed facility. I have no interest in having addicts in my jail. They belong in a treatment facility where they can get the much-needed help that they deserve and maybe even save their own life. But I do have plenty of room in my jail for drug dealers. These are individuals who are bent on putting this dangerous poison into the hands of oftentimes our most vulnerable, our children, all for a profit. And also, last piece I'd like to talk about is Len bias cases. You know, we had approximately 65 overdoses last year. Some of them are, in fact, the vast majority of them are fentanyl related. There's a number of them that we're still waiting on toxicology tests. It takes approximately 3 months to get those results back. But at the end of the day, those are 68 accidental deaths, like we like to call them. At the end of the day, they are truly homicides, in my opinion. Had we been able to find and locate the individual who gave that individual the dangerous drug and caused their death, they should be prosecuted under the lead and bias law. And again, I'll let their district attorney talk more about that. And I'll end it with this, is that Racine County Sheriff's Office is deeply committed, and we will always be committed to working very closely with our county executive, members of our county board, to find funding sources so that we can effectively investigate and hold accountable drug dealers who are insistent on putting this poison into individual communities. In addition to that is finding resources and funding to be able to educate and get into the schools, get into the middle schools, the high schools, to educate our community members about the dangers of this drug. So that said, I want to thank everyone for being here today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our county executive, Jonathan Dellerman.